What if I told you that the constant tiredness, cold hands, hair thinning, and dizzy spells you've been ignoring might all be pointing to the same thing? And what if the solution wasn't as complicated as you've been led to believe?
This is an interesting subject because I suffered low iron for 13 years until I solved the puzzle.
Hey there, and welcome to the channel. If you're feeling drained, run down, or like something just isn't quite right with your health, this video might be exactly what you need. Barbara O'Neill struggled with iron deficiency anemia for 13 years. Yes, 13 long years of fatigue, frustration, and confusion. But finally, she was able to find a remedy that actually worked. Not a quick fix, but a true solution. Let's dive in. Let's start with a quick reality check. Iron deficiency is the most common nutritional deficiency in the world. And yet, most people don't know they have it until they crash. According to global health statistics, over 30% of the world's population is iron deficient. That's nearly 1 in 3 people walking around exhausted, foggy, and pale, thinking it's just stress or poor sleep. This is where I discovered that iron is bound up in food and needs acid to liberate it, and protein. Here's the thing. Iron isn't just some minor mineral. It's the key to oxygen. Your red blood cells use iron to make hemoglobin, and hemoglobin is what carries oxygen to every corner of your body. No iron, no energy. Period. But how do we even become deficient? There's no one-size-fits-all cause. Sometimes it's because you're simply not eating enough iron-rich foods. Sometimes it's your body's fault. It isn't absorbing the iron properly, often because your stomach acid is too low. Other times, it's about blood loss, especially for women who lose iron every month during their periods. And for some, it's a mix of all three. When you don't have enough iron, your body starts slowing down in ways you can't ignore. Your skin gets pale, your brain gets foggy, your muscles give up on you halfway up the stairs. And over time, what starts as "I'm just tired" turns into full-on anemia. And that can be dangerous. Iron deficiency doesn't treat everyone equally. If you're a woman, especially one in your childbearing years, the odds are stacked against you. Heavy periods, pregnancy, breastfeeding, each of these can drain your iron stores like a leaky bucket. In fact, nearly 50% of women of reproductive age have iron deficiency anemia, and it's even worse during pregnancy. Up to 60% of pregnant women in some countries are affected. Think about it. You're growing a whole new human. Your blood volume increases, and your body is demanding more iron than ever. But you might not even realize you're running on empty. That's when things can get dangerous. Not just for the mom, but for the baby too. Iron deficiency during pregnancy can lead to premature birth, low birth weight, and developmental issues for the child. And let's talk about the little ones. Nearly half of children under 5 suffer from iron deficiency. That's heartbreaking. Kids with low iron levels can struggle with learning, behavior, and even physical growth. They might not be just tired or just moody. When children don't get enough iron, it shows up in quiet but heartbreaking ways. They struggle to concentrate in school, they get frustrated more easily, or they seem spaced out in class. Sometimes they're labeled as slow learners or behavioral problems, when in reality, their brains are just starving for oxygen. Iron fuels brain development, and when that fuel runs low, so does memory, attention, and emotional regulation. Fixing iron deficiency isn't just about physical health. It can mean the difference between a child falling behind or finally thriving. So if you're a woman, a mother, or someone who cares for kids, pay close attention. Iron matters more than you think. What does iron deficiency feel like? This is where things get personal. You see, iron deficiency doesn't always scream in your face. It whispers, until it doesn't. For Barbara, it started with subtle signs. She was tired and she blamed it on work, on kids, on life. But then came the cold feet, the hair that just wouldn't grow, the breathlessness after climbing a single flight of stairs. At 40, her hemoglobin was 8. For context, healthy levels should be between 11 and 15. That's dangerously low. She took some iron tablets, felt a bit better, and carried on with life. Until years later, when her levels dropped to 5, and she landed in the hospital. Here are the symptoms to watch out for. Constant fatigue, even after sleeping well. Pale skin or pale inner eyelids. Dizziness or lightheadedness. Hair loss or thinning. Cold hands and feet. Shortness of breath. Brain fog or poor concentration. concentration, irregular heartbeats or chest pain in severe cases. And here's the thing. These symptoms can creep up so gradually that you don't even notice them until you're deep in the hole.
So most people with low iron, they're either bleeding very heavily at period times, so they need the Anna's wild yam cream to stop that. And they also can be low in hydrochloric acid because the acid liberates the iron.
What makes iron deficiency even trickier is how quietly it sneaks into your life. It doesn't slam into you overnight, it creeps. First, you're just tired. Then, you're exhausted. Eventually, even climbing the stairs feels like a workout. And because these symptoms feel so ordinary, so everyday, you just learn to live with them. You push through, drink more coffee, blame your schedule, your age, and your hormones, never suspecting that your red blood cells are starving for oxygen. And all the while, life starts to shrink. You cancel plans because you're just not feeling up to it. You lose motivation. Your mind feels foggy. You tell yourself you're just stressed or getting older. But deep down, you know something isn't right. If any of this sounds familiar, your body might be crying out for iron. Now, here's the good part. The turning point. After 13 years of battling low iron, she finally started seeing real improvement. But it didn't come from a magic pill. It came from understanding how the body works and working with it instead of against it. It starts with stomach acid. This was the big aha moment for me. Iron in food is bound up, and your body needs acid to release it. But why would somebody be low in acid?
If someone's eating every couple of hours, that exhausts the digestive enzymes, so they're low in hydrochloric acid. If someone drinks with their meals, it waters down their hydrochloric acid. If someone overeats, overburdens the stomach, it exhausts hydrochloric acid. If someone's highly stressed when they're eating, that exhausts hydrochloric acid.
Low stomach acid means your body can't access the iron even if you're eating plenty. Stress, poor diet, and aging can all lower stomach acid levels. How to boost acid?
Only eat at meal times. Only drink between meals. When you sit down to dine, I read this in an old book, cast off care and anxious thought.
She started drinking a bitter herbal tea before meals. It woke up her digestive system, stimulated acid production, and helped her body actually absorb the iron she was eating. Your body doesn't just need to absorb iron, it needs to store it, and it uses protein to do that. Barbara began eating legumes every single day, sometimes twice. She also added seeds, nuts, and well-prepared whole grains to every meal. These not only gave her iron, but the protein necessary to hold on to it. Vitamin C helps your body absorb non-heme iron. So she started combining iron-rich meals with foods like oranges, bell peppers, and tomatoes.
Other than doing all that, take a little bit of cayenne pepper with your meal. That'll wake anything up. Having the juice of a lemon with a little very hot water just before the meal, that can also boost hydrochloric acid.
This wasn't an overnight fix. But slowly, over months, her blood tests improved. Her hemoglobin climbed. Her ferritin levels hit 35, a huge victory. Her hair grew long and thick again. Her energy came back. And she ended up feeling alive again. There's something empowering about healing naturally. Not because it's trendy or clean or alternative, but because it's yours. You get to reconnect with your body. You get to learn its language. And when you give it what it needs, it responds. Not instantly, not overnight, but steadily, surely, deeply. If you've been living in the shadow of iron deficiency, I want you to know something. You're not broken. Your body isn't failing. It's asking for help. You don't have to live with constant tiredness, cold extremities, or a racing heart. You just need the right tools, the right food, and a little patience. She solved it, not because she's superhuman, but because she listened and learned and nourished her body. So if you found this video helpful, share it with someone who needs to hear this empowering health content. Drop your thoughts or questions in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Take care of your body. It's the only one you've got.